When I balance an equation, the first thing I do is set up a chart. Sometimes you don't need to do this, but just to demonstrate, I'll do this for you. And what I'm trying to look at are what I have as reactants, so that would be everything to the left of the arrow, and what I have as products to the right of the arrow. I write down my elements. I basically have two elements here, hydrogen and oxygen. And for reactants, I have two of each, and for products, I have two hydrogen and only one oxygen. So when I am looking at this, I know that my product side of the equation is lacking in oxygen. If I put a 1 in front, that won't make any difference. So I'm going to erase that 1, and if I put a 1 there, it'll just mean I have the same exact thing. What I need to do is put the lowest common, the lowest number that I could start with is a 2. And when I do that, not only does it change my oxygen, because now I have 2, it also changes my hydrogen, and I have 4. Well, now I go back and look at my reactant side. My oxygen is good, but my hydrogen is not. So I need to then add a 2 here, and when I do that, this becomes a 4. Now I look for 4, 2, 2. My equation is balanced. And as I said, sometimes you don't need to do this, but it is helpful for the next example. In this example, one reason why the table would be very helpful is because, as you can see, I've got oxygen in two spots on my product side. Again, products and reactants. I'm going to set up my table. Reactants, products. My elements are exactly the same. I just have the two, hydrogen and oxygen. And I'll count them up on each side. So over here I have 2 and 2. And on this side I have 2 hydrogen, but I have 1 plus 2 oxygen. So that makes 3. So now when I'm looking at this problem, I can clearly see that I'm never going to get 3 oxygen on both sides of the equation. If I put a 1 in front of the H2O2, that's not going to change it. If I put a 2 there, that's just going to bump everything up. So what my approach is going to be is a little different, but I'm going to look at this element over here. I'm going to look at the hydrogen and the H2O, the hydrogen and oxygen combination on this side. And I'm going to just start by putting a 2 here. And by doing that, I get an even number of oxygen. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. I also change my hydrogen, and that becomes a 4. Now when I look back on the other side, I say, oh, it's pretty easy. All I have to do right here is put a 2, multiply that, and I get 4 and 4. And if I look at my answers, they all check and balance. So my equation is now balanced by just putting the coefficient of 2 here and 2 here. Again, sometimes this seems easier when someone else is doing it, but it does take practice.